Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to LinkedIn Live podcast from Power of Knowing Forum. Today, we are on the 149th episode and we are discussing on a topic of wealth, creating your investment value and ownership. To have this discussion going on, we have the honor of having Thomas, Rajiv, Sunil uh, joining us. Without further ado, let's welcome our esteemed speakers to the podcast event.
Thank you, Prem.
Hi Thomas, hi Rajiv, hi Sunil.
Thank
Welcome
you,
to the
Prem.
podcast.
Thank you.
Over to
So,
you,
welcome
Thomas.
everybody. Welcome everybody to today's LinkedIn Live. We're here to disrupt your thinking on financial security, career freedom, and wealth creation. Today, we dive deep into the Regenesis way. You see, traditional approaches to wealth creation, they leave most people out. Well, what we're talking about today is something everyone is available to everyone, no matter your role, no matter your starting point. At Genesis, we take a radically different approach because our whole strategy is built from what really works the best. We don't care about the status quo. What we care about is empowering you to create recurring revenue month after month. Yes, I said recurring. We talked about an extra 1 to 2% per month. It may not sound like much, but over a decade, that's a game changer. It's a 240% extra, both for you and your organization. And the likelihood is, once you start using the Genesis, it will in fact be much higher than that. Now, I'm joined by my brilliant colleagues, Rajiv, Prem, and Sunil, who will help us explore three crucial steps that you probably haven't heard framed this way before. Number one is investing, but investing in yourself. Number two is becoming valuable, and not just to yourself or your family or your organization, but to many. So, number one is investing in yourself. Number two is becoming valuable to many. And number three is owning the wealth creation machine. If you're a manager, executive, or director, this is about taking ownership of your value. So, let's start with Rajiv, who will walk us through why investing in yourself is the most underused, underappreciated form of wealth creation. Over to you, Rajiv.
Thank you, Thomas. Here's the thing: investing in yourself is just about reading more books or taking more courses. It is about everyone talks about that, but the real secret is deeper: how you see yourself. Because most people they underestimate just how much they can, develop. So. The reading of books, the going through different journals, or creating more and more knowledge base. In fact, develop you as a professional. I'm talking about the virtually unlimited potential that most people never touch. Here's my unconventional angle, which is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an asset. Because if you are thinking like an employee, you are living, breathing asset to your organization and to that world. Because I always, during my professional life also, I try to act as a owner of the company or a professional who is responsible for delivering. When you are thinking like that, you start taking responsibility. And like we said last week, if it's to be, it's up to me. You have to take the ownership of the whole thing. So step up, not just in your job, but in the value you create, because that is what everybody is looking at. So as a manager or an executive or a director, you are not paid just to do tasks. You are paid to create measurable and repeatable value, because these days everybody is talking about the value you create, and companies are also talking about valuations. That's where Regenesis helps you do fill the performance gap you didn't even know which is holding you back. So work on it. And here's the twist: the results you create, don't just deliver them, report them, because you have to tell people that what kind of value you are delivering before you do it, and then report it again afterwards. This is how you start controlling your salary, because if the organization sees that you are delivering value, they are definitely going to appreciate the kind of value you are delivering, and that is how they will decide your performance appraisal, and that is how they are going to decide your salary. So most people think their value is determined by someone else, but I don't think so. It's not a reality. You are in control of your own and actually adds a lot of dimension to the whole. Work on the value creation, and that is what I feel, Thomas, is the most important thing, and that is what we talk about in Regenesis. Over to you, Thomas.
Thank you. That was absolutely brilliant, Rajiv. What I love about that is how radically different it is from the typical invest in yourself advice. And of course, the beauty of being a manager, when you start to create value, you can create value directly yourself, but also you can create value through your people. If you initiate something new and they do it and it creates better results and better value and better contribution for your organization, then that can be part of your reporting process. The point of viewing yourself as the asset, as a human being, as a manager, executive, or director, you're an active asset. You've got will and you can deliberately decide, intentionally decide to initiate new things which create more value for the company. So that was just fabulous, Rajiv. And most people, I think, are still stuck in do more work. But what you're saying is see yourself as a self-generating asset and prove your worth every time. And of course, if you upgrade an entire company's activity in a certain area, it's not only today's value that you've created with the improvement, but also it's recurring. It goes on and on and on. So it's reasonable for you to maybe claim at least a year of that value if you initiated it. And maybe you claim half the year after and 20% of the year after that. So there's lots of scope here for really looking properly at your role as a value creator, as a manager. So that's something you can do every time out. Every time you get a job, you can put yourself in that frame of mind. So now on to Prem, who's going to explore the second pillar, which is instead of just being valuable to one organization or one boss or whatever it is to gradually expand your value creation to becoming valuable to many. And I know Prem, again, like Rajiv, has a totally different take on this. Prem, would you like to start us off, please?
Thanks, Thomas. I'll take that up. Let's look at shaking up this. See, everyone we have heard about being valuable, but what they don't hear is how to become valuable to many people at once. So most managers and executives always tend to think they have their limitations and they have their own challenges and their own blockers that they don't take and play a small role saying that they're staying in their lanes. And with that, but if you want to be wealthy and you are have to move out of your comfort zone, because that's a comfort zone that many of the managers have built across, saying that I am not valuable in the organization, or I have my boundaries there set. So let's break this into two different pointers. One point here is start becoming invaluable to your organization, but don't stop there. So what we should do is we should look at taking responsibilities beyond what we are having. Once you are valuable in your role, expand beyond that and look for adding value to people and departments, then bringing up the teams to step in into others issues. Most of the time, the issue is that we know some of the issues, but we don't know how to fix. If you have a kind of set there given to them and you help them to understand, suddenly you are not just an operation person or a finance manager, you will be the person who makes everything work better. So if you know something and you can help another person work on, the synergies become more, and you start looking at getting more value to the people. What we are doing here is what where regenesis kicks in here. Once you have proven you can create value in the organization and start doing it for others, with regenesis you can use your framework to help the managers boost the results, and guess what, you can take credit for that value as well. The twist here is now you are not just a high performer in the company, but you are a rainmaker across multiple organizations, because people move to other organizations and take the value that you have given or the way that you have asked them to do certain work. Think of this turning out to you into a portfolio of value streams. You stay in your role, sure, but your influence grows beyond the paycheck and beyond the organization. So instead of having just a job, you are having multiple income streams, all because you learned how to add value in ways no one expected, and the other way you can start is further go on. Thomas, over to you, Thomas.
Now, that is what I call a really powerful additional frame, friend. This is just superb. So, what you're saying here is not only can you create value yourself and your organization and through your team, but you can actually help other teams create value inside your organization. You can help other managers use Regenesis and generate results. And in the short term, like we said in the first examples that Rajiv gave us, you can take credit, you can report on that value because you initiate. Not only can you do that, but you can also reach out to colleagues in other organizations. You can coach them. Maybe it's for a fee. Maybe you can begin to go on assignments, like almost like project assignments in other organizations. One of my favorite tools as a coach, an executive and management coach, was to do what I call deep ending. Once I was confident that my coaching client was able to create certain kinds of value, I'd find new places in different organizations they could take a half day off or whatever and go and make a difference. And it's surprising how rapidly that built their career. And more importantly, how quickly it helped them grow their salary and paycheck. So, as Prem's just said, so instead of having a job, you end up with multiple income streams. Maybe there's your main salary, maybe there's regular project work in other organizations you've got to know and who've become confident in you. And let's not forget, you've also built your next maybe career move. If you can't find the kind of growth in your development and your capabilities and your salary that you want where you are, well, you can count on either holding more than one post uh, or moving to another post at higher pay. It all helps with building the career that you want. But more importantly, it helps us really contribute to making a better world. Now, there is one further step after this powerful reframe given by Prem, and that's the idea that you can grow your value across organizations even while staying in your job. And that's revolutionary. Wealth creation becomes about multiplying your value in ways most people, as Prem said, don't even consider. Now, finally, let's move to Sunil, and this is where it all comes together. Getting to own a wealth creating machine. Sunil, I know you've got some insights that really flip the script on ownership. What do you have for us?
Thanks, Thomas. Very, very important. So let's discuss about most important aspect of wealth creation, I will say, and that is taking the ownership of creating wealth, taking the ownership of creating wealth, and that is where the real magic happens. As Rajiv and Prem has told, that you become your best version, you invest in yourself, and the second, Prem was explaining that you become valuable for the organization. But the gentleman, I will I will say that even if you do these two, but you fail to take the ownership, then there's no use of these two, what we have discussed before. So taking the ownership is most important aspect of wealth creation. And when we talk the taking the ownership, we are very firm here that we help you how to do that. As a regenesis, we have defined framework for that. And this is really a magic. So all the magic happens here when you take the ownership and you create the wealth. You enjoy doing that. You are getting noticed. So you're not asking anything to anyone. Basically, you're demonstrating that you are having ability to create the value. You are having ability to create the wealth. And when you do it, believe me, that not only satisfies you, that creates a aura around you, and you become valuable. You become, you become, you are in demand. And when we talk regarding creating asset and creating values, then I always remember one gentleman, the writer of Rich Dad and Poor Dad. So I will recommend here that each and every individual must read that book, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. That is a real case study that what is the different mindset that creates a real differentiator among two individuals having the same skill set, having the same background, having the same knowledge, having the same ability. So that is the real differentiator, taking the ownership. That is the real differentiator when you establish yourself to create, to become a value creator. So coming back here, let us put this aspect in three parts, break in three parts. The number one, you basically become and establish yourself as a value creator, as a wealth creator. That is the first step. The second step is you build a track record of yourself. So that track record is basically your capital. And the third, don't limit yourself to one organization or one way of creating the wealth. There are various ways to create that wealth. So when you take the ownership, you do all three steps. And believe me, these are the real differentiator. These are the process which establish yourself as a real value creator, real wealth creator, and you becomes a different individuals. So if I will take the example first, I will take the first point, that is creating the wealth, creating the value. Then what exactly you have to do? Basically, you have to prove in your job that you are not only doing the job 9 to 6. Basically, you have to prove yourself that you are creating value, you are creating wealth. And believe me, if you will demonstrate that, you are having all the liberty, you are having all the authority to ask for more. You have all the authority, you have all the power to discuss and get the share within the organization, to get the increment, to get yourself established within the organization. And sometimes you need not to ask, because that is getting noticed by each and every individual, by the management. And when that is getting noticed by the management, that will come in your own way. So you need not to ask. So that is the power of taking the ownership of creating the value. But don't pass your time by 9 6. Don't go to the office and come back without creating any value. I remember one statement that is a very important statement of life, that every day when you wake up, you find yourself that I don't have anything. And when you go on the bed, that point of time you ask a question to yourself, what wealth, what value I have created today? If you will maintain that discipline, you will be a different individual. And that will be your differentiator, and that will be your power, that will be yours, that will be your asset. So that is important aspect of life. The second important is that you have to build your own track record. So the track record is very important. And your track record of value creator, wealth creator, is basically your capital. You need not to wait for for millions of rupees or a lot of money to start investing. When that track record is with you, then you will get valued. You start investing in those building the track record of yourself. And when you will do that, the wealth will automatically come to you. So that is the power of building the track record. The third important, and that I will say that is the twist, that is don't limit yourself that whatever you have done today, that is enough. Go and invest in more and more organization. Take the opportunity, create wealth every day. Whatever opportunity come to you, you see from the lens that how I can create more wealth in this particular role, in this organization, in this particular situation, in these circumstances. If that will become your habit, so that habit will differentiate you, and that is where those values creation will happen, those wealth creation will happen, and automatically wealth will come to you. So that is the power of that. I will say, after creating those things, I'm sure that you must have heard, after creating those self, it is not important that you have to only do. You have to develop your own clone. So your money, your wealth should work for you. And that is where I was referring the book Rich Dad and Poor Dad. So that is very, very important, and everybody in his lifetime must read this book. I'm sure our listener is intelligent enough, they must have read, but how they have implemented in the life, that is very, very important. So never ever delay this particular aspect of life. If you have not read, please read it. If you have read it, please implement it. And believe me, we are having a set process, a set theory, a set framework, and where we help the individual, help the organization, help the director, help the executive to become a wealth creator, to take the ownership or to create the wealth. And that is where the real magic happens. That is where you become a different personality. That is where you are getting valued. That is where the wealth comes to you your own, and you are having the power to get that wealth when you create that. So I would like to quote one particular example right now, and that has happened very recently in India, and I'm sure that most of you must be aware. A gentleman, the founder of Thyrocare, we all know Velu Money. He was having a very, very humble beginning, started his life from a mere poverty. He has started Thyrocare, and he has created a wealth from that background to 3,300 crore value. And today, after creating those value, he has developed his own clone, and now he is leading a different life. He's enjoying his life. He is sharing those knowledge to every individual. So adopting that framework is important. So we three here, when we are talking, Prem, myself, Rajiv, Thomas, we have gone through all the process, and we can help you out to develop that framework. So gentlemen, please be in hurry, please join us and take this boat, take this ship, and start moving with us. Over to you, Thomas.
Well, incredible insight, Sunil. The idea that you can leverage your track record to build equity is such a different take on wealth creation. And of course, it's true. You don't just have to start as one of the top people and be wealthy already, where you get invited onto boards and you get invited to have shareholdings while you've got the resources to capture the shareholdings. But you can actually acquire these through exactly the route that you said, to build your track record. It is very, very valuable. And people see the credibility and they'll be confident in you from your track record that you can do it for them as well, or help them do it for themselves. So fantastic insights. And that's where it gets exciting. And what we're saying through Regenesis is we're trying to help thousands, actually millions of managers get themselves on a different track. And obviously, the earlier you start, the easier it is to get there, because you've done more of the steps first. But it doesn't matter when you start, because it's also quite quick to make the transition if you've got quite a lot of experience and you've got a maybe a middle or even higher management position, it's much easier to make this kind of transition possible. So here's your chance. What we're doing at the moment, Regenesis is obviously spreading fast, and we offer free initial training to everybody. And then it's just a matter of choosing a little bit of support or a bit more support to base, depending on how fast you want to go, how senior you are already. But obviously, we can't get to everybody at once. And it just depends whether you want to be an initiator, be on the front foot with all of this and get going. Or unfortunately, it's going to slow down because as the volume goes up, it takes more of us to actually address all the people who want to get involved. So I would say get involved sooner rather than later. It just helps you lead the field in this way. So here's your chance. Don't miss it. You've just seen how powerful this approach has been in this live, LinkedIn Live and the other ones. Imagine where you'll be in a 10-year or 20-year journey by starting now with the extra results that you'll be able to create using Regenesis. So don't wait. Reach out to any of us on LinkedIn, Rajiv, Prem, Sunil, or myself, and just ask for free Regenesis or just book an appointment. Some of us have got appointment buttons on our LinkedIn profile, so just book an appointment. Our goal is really simple: to help every manager, executive, and every director create real wealth for themselves and the world around them. And what I love about using this model is it also makes for better company leadership and better company governance, and ultimately a better world going forward, because there are more of us who definitely can help things happen in the whole pipeline of company direction. And I think that's a marvelous increase to the asset. At the moment, I think we're lacking in some areas. We've become rather obsessed with the money aspect of everything. And of course, with money, it's a representation of wealth rather than the wealth itself. You can't sit on money, you can't eat it, you can't drink it. It doesn't keep you warm and dry. So it's not that makes the difference. It's what we do with our organizations and our lives and our societies that really matters. And this is where we need really good people who have got the track record to give confidence they know what to do to take us forwards. We believe in a world where everyone is wealthier, healthier, and has stronger relationships with the people, organization, and communities around them. And we want you, as our listeners, to be part of that. So reach out to us today and let's start transforming your career and your wealth and a better future. The only question is, how long will you wait before taking control? Maybe that's where I want to finish. Sunil or Prem or Rajiv, do you want to say anything more before we close?
I think, Thomas, you have already put everything there, but I always say one line that we are on a mission. And if I have to summarize, I will say that we are on a mission to help individuals and the organization to create more wealth. So that is the whole purpose of that. Whatever experience we have, whatever combined knowledge we have, that we want to, to utilize for the wealth creation of individual and organization. So be in hurry and join us.
Totally agree. Rajiv?
Yeah, I think don't miss the chance and take your decision fast. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
And I think now over to you, Prem, to take us out and take us on to what's happening next.
Yeah. So thank you for having a wonderful discussion, and it's been always a great discussion that we are having here. You can reach us on the links that are scrolling down, either Sunil, Rajiv, Thomas, myself. We are available for you for having a setup done, a call done for you, and we can see our services that are going on our next episode is I am putting up here what is our next episode. Why people remember what you did on the 2nd of October. And for tomorrow, we are completing our 150th episode, which is going to be podcasted live tomorrow on Resilient Cities Harnessing Digital Tech in navigating urban challenges, 26 September 2024 at 6:30 p.m. IST. So I think with this we would like to conclude our session. Hope we have done have sorry hope we have you have found the session discussion valuable. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. See you tomorrow. Bye for now and good day.